Good morning. This is Send 7, World News in 7 minutes. I'm Juliet Martin, and today is Friday, the 5th of July, 2024. Starting in Africa. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, 25 soldiers have been sentenced to death for fleeing battle and theft. Congo's army is fighting the M23 rebel group and other militia groups. 27 soldiers were detained after abandoning their positions in the North Kivu province. 25 were sentenced to death by a military tribunal. Tunisian opposition leader Lotfi Mrihi has been arrested on suspicion of money laundering. Mrihi is the leader of the Republican Union Party and intends to run in the October presidential election. Ethiopia could receive $10.5 billion after negotiations with the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank, according to Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. Asia and Oceania. In Australia, 4 pro-Palestine protesters have been arrested for climbing the roof of the Parliament House. The protesters stood on the roof for about an hour, holding banners and giving speeches. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said those responsible should feel the full force of the law. Peaceful protest has an important place in our society, but this was not a peaceful protest. Israel has dispatched a delegation to negotiate hostage release with Hamas, according to a government official. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu convened the cabinet yesterday evening to discuss Hamas's position on a truce agreement. Japan and the Philippines will soon agree on a reciprocal access agreement on defense and security, according to the Japanese ambassador Kazuya Endo. Japanese and Philippine foreign and defense ministers will hold talks on the 8th of July. Taiwan's Coast Guard says Chinese officials seized a Taiwanese fishing boat earlier this week. China says the boat violated the summer no-fishing rule. In India, 6 people have been arrested after a stampede at a religious event this week, which killed 121 people. According to police, 250,000 people attended the event to listen to preacher Suraj Pal Singh. The organisers only had permission for 80,000 people to gather. The Americas. The Cayman Islands and Mexico expect to receive Hurricane Beryl in the coming days. Hurricane Beryl caused floods and power outages in Jamaica and has killed at least 10 people across the Caribbean. In Ecuador, 49 kidnapping victims have been rescued from the Los Lobos crime gang, according to police. Police said 49 citizens who were victims of kidnapping in mining areas were released and 2 people linked to this crime were arrested. Ecuador's President Daniel Noboa has designated 22 crime gangs as terrorist groups. The Inter-American Commission on Human Rights has asked Argentine authorities to respect people's right to protest. In June, protesters demonstrated nationwide after the Senate passed economic reforms. The Commission said, "We are concerned about the disproportionate use of public force against journalists and individuals who take part in peaceful protests in Argentina, as well as about acts of violence perpetrated by private citizens during those protests." United States President Joe Biden has awarded the Medal of Honor to 2 late Army privates who participated in the Civil War.
The very first recipients of the Medal of Honor were a small band known as Andrews Raiders, named for a spy for the Union Army, James Andrews, who led one of the most daring operations in the entire Civil War. Every soldier who joined that mission was awarded the Medal of Honor, except for two. Two soldiers who died because of that operation but never received this recognition. Today, we right that wrong. Today, they finally received the recognition they deserve.
Europe. A Russian court has sentenced United States citizen Robert Romanov Woodland to 12.5 years in jail for attempting to sell drugs. Over the last few years, the United States has warned its citizens to leave Russia because of the war in Ukraine and the risk of wrongful detentions. Poland has requested border guards and police from Finland, Germany, and Greece to help protect its border with Belarus. According to the European Union's border agency, the number of people trying to enter the European Union across its eastern border has nearly doubled this year. Belarus has released at least 10 political prisoners, according to human rights group Vyazna. According to reports, around 1,400 people are still detained for political activity. And in Namibia, a 280 million year old fossil has been discovered. The animal was between 2.5 and 4 meters long, with interlocking fangs. It is known as Gyaja geniae. That's your world news in 7 minutes. If you enjoy Send 7, you can become a supporter at send7.org. Supporters get access to the transcripts of every episode and our weekly worksheets and world news quiz. I'm Juliet Martin. Send 7 will be back on Monday with Ben Mallet. Have a wonderful weekend.